excellent job by him. First contact wins, shoving people around.
Fields, what a move to move past Nixon. And Justin Fields ahead of the field and gone. What a run. Cousins over the middle. How is he that wide open? Jefferson again inside the 10, lunging for the end zone. Touchdown.
We're down at 4. Goff steps to his right, throws, end zone, touchdown.
Sard, who went out a couple of plays to go back in. 2nd and 11, just pitch it to the edge to Aaron Jones. Inside the 5 and in the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you guys are listening to this and whenever you guys are watching this. It is that time of the day, probably the best time of the day, for you guys to listen/watch another episode of the Next Up Fantasy Show. And it's your boy Will once again. And once again as well, we're going to be talking with my two amigos when it comes to fantasy football. I introduced Mike last time, so this time I'm going to introduce Manny B and Manny first. Good evening, Mr. Manny. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to talk about the NFC North. Let me tell you, there's so many stacked teams.
So many.
I'm in Michigan, and I hear how good the Lions are going to be. This and that. They have Amon-Ra. They got the Gibbs. We'll see. You'll see from my rankings how I feel about these Lions fans.
Nobody beats the Gibbs, no doubt. and on the other side of the spectrum is my man rocking the Ohio State jersey. My man
Get
Mike.
it
Mike, Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's a lovely day. I'm out here in California, so we don't really have too many NFC North fans. Well, we have fans of all different teams, but not a big contingent. So I'm not dealing with what Manny probably has to deal with. But I'm feeling good today. And like I said, I consider right now kind of the doldrums of what we do. This division isn't very sexy, but we're gonna do it.
We is going to try our best because just like we all said, this is not a sexy division. Like, my goodness. But you know what? Let's try to liven it up a little bit with the news from earlier today. I want to get everyone's quick opinions on this, and we'll jump right into it. DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans. I'm just gonna say immediately what my thought is like. I still think Ryan Tannehill is trash. However, it kind of solidifies to me that both Malik Willis and Will Levi or Levis, however they're pronouncing his name, is likely going to not have an opportunity to actually start with them signing in DeAndre Hopkins, because why would you want a second year or a rookie pretty much playing with DeAndre Hopkins in a situation like that? So it looks like Tannehill is going to be the quarterback now, and it kind of does leave a little bit of opportunity and space a little bit for Derrick Henry. So as much as I blasted Derrick Henry last year and probably the year before, I'll probably be a little bit more lenient this time with him. What's everyone else's thoughts?
My first initial thoughts was this man put out a criteria for a team that he was going to sign for. The criteria said a Super Bowl contender. Guess who's not a Super Bowl contender? The Titans. He put out a great defense. Guess who doesn't have a great defense? The Titans. He put out a great quarterback. Guess who doesn't have a great quarterback? Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. So this dude went full opposite. He probably couldn't get any offers and was like, you know what? I guess I'm signing with the Titans. And has it been broken? Maybe I missed it. Derrick Henry is with the Titans again?
He is still with the Titans, yes.
Did he? I thought he was leaving. I thought they were going to potentially cut him, like kind of.
They were trying. I think there was like rumblings here and there as far as him getting out, but I think now they're not gonna move him.
All I know is this not it doesn't move the needle for me. They're still going to lose to Jacksonville probably. So I don't know. So much for his criteria.
We could definitely talk about that when we get to that other horrible division. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I don't like it either. Like Manny said, I know this wasn't the team that he probably wanted to go to. I think it's the way things shook out. So sometimes be careful what you ask for, But I mean, Arizona, Tennessee, who cares? Go get your money, have fun. They have a great coach over there, though. I do like Mike Vrabel, so hopefully he can make something happen. But
Vrabel is solid.
Yeah. He's solid. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Tennessee's doing. I feel like they should be tanking and probably trying to get a quarterback in this year's draft.
Another one?
Yeah, because Malik Willis ain't the guy.
Malik Willis ain't that, and the guy. I was hoping he would do something. He did well.
I'm out on him.
Well, we got the Will Levis.
Will Levis from Kentucky.
Oh,
I mean, what did I keep reading? He has an arm, but he doesn't have good accuracy. So probably during training camp, they kept on seeing the inaccuracies of him, and they just said, you know what, no, screw it. We gotta make sure Tannehill has a good wideout, and Traylon Burks or Trey Burks. He's good, but like he would need some kind of leadership. And we're gonna talk about a team similar to that. That's kind of on the opposite of that spectrum. But we're gonna start off first with the Bears of Chicago. So as far as the moves with this team, there hasn't really been too much that really 100% broke the needle when it comes to fantasy goodness. Yes, with the exception of DJ Moore. I did write a little bit about it once the trade happened. But after, like, instead of like the immediate reaction, there was a little bit more that we wanted to study on when it came to it. And we're going to talk about it right here. But first things first, let's go ahead and get to Manny. And he's going to give us a little explanation about everything that happened with them.
All right. The shit Bears, they went 22 in 2022. Their record was 3-14. The key additions, like Will said, it was DJ Moore and Robert Tonyan. People sleep on Robert Tonyan, but they got him. Key departures David Montgomery. Key departures was David Montgomery. The quarterback is Justin Fields. He is projected super high. It's kind of where I'm going to bring the first question. He's ranked out of all the players, 42, QB 6. His QB rank strength of schedule is the second best in the NFL, though. Their running back, guess who they replaced with David Montgomery? No one. Khalil Herbert is still their running back at 103 and RB 36. They also have Deontay Foreman at 129 and RB 45. Their wide receiver core, though, everyone's pumped about it. DJ Moore, number 52 overall running back or wide receiver 22. They have Chase Claypool still. He is 212 and wide receiver 77. And then the sleeper, Darnell Mooney, overall 137, wide receiver 55. And the tight end is Cole Kmet at 125, tight end 13. And don't forget, Robert Tonyan is on that team as well.
I'm so annoyed at Cole Kmet. I wanted him to do so well last year. And I think a lot of people had that thought too. But my God. Okay. So I'm going to do my best here. Justin Fields is okay. He runs.
Yeah, he can run.
The guy can run. So just the rushing upside. What was that?
I said, Mike's like, he's my quarterback. Leave him alone.
Hey, he can throw to Ohio State. I don't know what happened. He could throw then.
He went to Chicago. Just as cold weather.
This is real, though. Ohio State probably has better wide receivers than the Bears. So, hey, it's rough,
Marvin Harrison alone. That's it.
Well, this man was Justin. He was throwing to who is he? Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison, and who was the third?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, yeah. the. Yeah. But we got to talk about these crappy Bears. like I said, Justin Fields, he's always going to be good for rushing, but like with Khalil Herbert, Herbert did show flashes here and there, but I'm kind of scared of Deontay Foreman, or because of Deontay Foreman being there. They're going to cut down the upside, the limited upside that Herbert had in the first place. DJ Moore, I
hate DJ Moore. I'm going to say it.
He
screwed me too many times.
He gets catches. He gets catches.
Nope. Nope.
But I'm kind of more concerned about if anybody Darnell Mooney, because because of DJ Moore's trade, like they just practically just kicked him away from being like a top dog, and now he's like wide receiver probably 4.5 behind Claypool, behind Cole Kmet, and apparently Manny's boy Robert Tonyan. There's not really much positive that I could say about them, about this team, with the exception, like I said, Justin Fields. He has the rushing upside. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I echo your guys' sentiments. I like Justin Fields. I don't really like the wide receiver weapons. I mean, Justin Fields, he might run for over 1,000 yards. He could do that. That'd help you.
Yeah.
But the offensive line is no good, so I mean, he might have to run. He's not going to have a lot of time back there. I don't know why they didn't try to shore that up. They're another team. I don't exactly know what they're doing, but I mean, it's Chicago. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this team. I do like Deontay Foreman a little bit though. He can flash.
Yes.
He's kind of boom or bust, but he can really boom when he has a good day.
When he booms,
but,
he booms.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be as nice as I can possibly be.
We all are.
So that's all I have to say about that.
I guess
Manny don't care. So say what you got to say, Manny.
Enrique, yeah, if you're a Bears fan, I'm sorry. And recap for me, just like the Raiders, I am not drafting a single Bear on my team.
Wow. Okay.
Because the draft capital for Justin Fields is too high. I'm not reaching in the third round to get Justin Fields for him to run and possibly get 100 yards rushing, maybe a couple touchdowns, and throw for 5. I'm not. I could get. Let me see. Here we go. You told me to bring this up.
Yes.
Just under Justin Fields is Justin Herbert. There's Trevor Lawrence, who I rather have than Justin Fields because the division's horrible. Right. You got Deshaun Watson, you got Dak Prescott, you got Tua. Like, I want all these guys over Justin Fields. I don't care about the rushing. Yes, he's going to get his rushing yards, but guess what happens to rushing quarterbacks? He's going to get his block knocked off him one of these games, and then guess what? What is he now? Not a rusher.
I agree. He had some games last year where he really went off, though. So I mean, I'm not gonna diss the guy. I mean, he's a good player. He's just not what we need him to be if we're trying to win a championship fantasy. I mean, a fantasy championship, right? So yeah.
Do you feel pretty much boom or bust for Justin Fields this year?
At his rank,
okay,
number 42 overall.
I love Justin Fields probably more than both of you guys combined, and I wouldn't take him that high. I don't know why he is ranked above Justin Herbert. It's kind of crazy to me. That's probably his ceiling. That's and I don't know. I wouldn't take him that high.
Here's a question for you guys. You guys are on the clock. Here's 5 players that are around him. Let me see who you take over. So you got Justin Fields, you have Keenan Allen, you have Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, and Aaron Jones. Are you taking Justin Fields over these guys?
No.
Exactly.
I might take him over Dalvin Cook.
Just because you don't know where he's going to go?
Exactly.
But once he signs with the team and if you know he's the starter, yeah. Dalvin Cook is actually down because he's not on a team.
They keep saying he's going to get signed by Miami. But like it kind of seems like have you guys watched Shark Tank before, right?
Yeah.
Like the show, okay, how sometimes some of the people, they would like fish for like deals or whatever. There's 5 sharks or whatever, and then one person says, "All right, I'll do this deal. Do you want to make a deal?" And then the person who's trying to convince him is like, "I'm going to see what this person thinks." That's exactly what Dalvin Cook is doing right now. Like he's saying, "All right, Miami, you good, but I want to see what everyone else is doing. I want to see what everyone else has to say." And sometimes that can pretty much give like a lack or a loss of interest for some teams. So I hope that he doesn't like do that too much to the point where he doesn't get signed at all.
Oh, he'll get signed. He's gonna come to. I'll take him on the Cowboys, to be honest with you. And him and Tony Pollard together, 1-2 backup.
It would be a good one too. So yeah. I do like Justin Fields. But like, I don't want to think about too much of last year because of the play calling with Justin Fields. Because remember, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton was there last year, and or the year before. It was one of those 2 years. But what ended up happening was a lot of the play calling was more so based on, even though it was Justin Fields as the quarterback, it was Andy Dalton as like, or they were making the calls as if it was still Andy Dalton that was there as the quarterback. I can't remember. Actually, there was a more prominent backup quarterback last year for the Bears who used to be a starter. I can't think of his name. I can't think of who it is on top of my head. But like, I kind of feel that that's exactly what they still did to Justin Fields, where they pretty much did it as if that backup quarterback was the starting quarterback and doing the plays. So like they let him loose, just like Mike said, they let him loose for a couple of games, and he did okay. Like around like week 7-8, he started like to go. He started to go off. So in a sense, there's still a possibility, but like there may be other quarterbacks I would prefer to get.
They know that Justin Fields is going to get hurt this year because they picked up PJ Walker, and he's basically the same quarterback as Justin Fields. I guess it's good for when they read the playbook. They both run. They both can't throw the ball, but so
wow.
He's better than PJ Walker, man.
I don't know he is. No, I'm saying it's an insurance policy to have PJ Walker there is what I'm saying. They don't have to teach him anything new if he ever has to step in.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fact. And that's facts. I'm actually trying to look it up real quick as far as who was the quarter. Actually, no, it's all right. Don't worry about it. So we'll go ahead and move on, and we're going to talk about a very. I don't know what to think about this team. This is probably going to be the anthem for the entire NFC North. So the next team we're going to be talking about, the Packers. So there was one important commodity that ended up leaving. Some Aaron guy, I don't know, and we pretty much found out who he can be without the best of help when it comes to everyone around him. He still had his running backs, but outside of that, like question marks everywhere. And there's going to be a new quarterback who's been known there by the name of Mr. Jordan Love. I'm going to be very curious as far as what everybody else thinks of him. But Manny, first things first, let's go ahead and hear the thoughts about everything that happened with him.
All right, we got the Fudge Packers, 2022 record 8-9. They lost to the Lions their last game of the season, did not make the playoffs. I still remember that because I hear about it all the time being in Michigan. Key additions, we have, the GOAT, Jaden Reed, Michigan State alum. You have, and you also have Luke Musgrave. He was Oregon State's, I believe, tight end. Oregon State's tight end. Key departures, like Will said, Aaron Rodgers. And now your quarterback is Jordan Love, Mr. Inaccurate. He is at overall 136, QB 21. His strength of schedule is the best in the NFL. The running backs, we have Aaron Jones, who's 41 overall, like we just discussed before. Justin Fields is 42. You can get Aaron Jones at 41. He's RB 16. A.J. Dillon is 84 at running back 31. Your wide receivers are Christian Watson at 62. Overall, wide receiver 27. You have Romeo Dobbs at 157, wide receiver 63. And lastly, I put Jaden Reed because he's my guy at 213, wide receiver 78. The tight end is Luke Musgrave because the GOAT, Robert Tonyan, is now on the Bears, and he is a whopping tight end 31 at 230 overall.
My biggest did you know fact about this entire Packers team, as far as positional team, the wide receivers, they have a total of 11. as of today. This might change, but they have a total of 11. And each and every one of those 11 are either a first or a second-year player.
Yep.
There is no veterans on the wideouts. Not even Randall Cobb wanted to stay in, and he's practically a Green Bay homer. But like right now, like with a brand new quarterback, nearly brand new wide receivers, and your running backs, AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, those are your whatchamacallit? Those are your veterans. Like, is it hard to imagine that the Packers can actually be one of the lowest scoring teams in the league?
No, because they're in this division.
Is that a little bit too much, or is that
they play Bears twice?
This division.
They play Lions twice.
I mean, at least the Lions will put up points. They can put up points anyway. But yeah, like this Packers team, I'm kind of scared of, but I am very curious to see what Jordan Love actually does. As like the protege of Aaron Rodgers for the past couple of years since his rookie year, which was like what 2-3 years ago. And Jordan Love, when he did start, he did have some flashes. I think, didn't he? Either his rookie year or his second year, didn't he have like a 6 touchdown game, like a 5 or 6 touchdown game at the last game of the season? And I think it was against the Bears. It wasn't last year, but I think it was the year before that. I can't recall if I'll see if I could pull it up if that actually happened. I could be wrong. But simply, it's kind of hard to imagine without full proof of what the offense can do on a full-time basis. And if they're not going to be able to catch up with any of the teams that they play against, then the veteran players and AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, they could be somewhat phased out as far as not being able to stay in the game so that they can try to win it if they're going to get blown out here and there. Mike, thoughts?
I like the Packers a little more than the Bears. Excuse me. A little bit more.
Right.
I think moving on from Aaron Rodgers is actually a good thing. I think it's time. He didn't seem like he was really interested in, being around all these new young guys. He kind of wanted to go to a team that had higher aspirations. I mean, he wasn't even trying to come to warm into workouts last year and training camp, stuff like that. So I think that it's good to move on to him and finally give the reins to Jordan Love, who they probably shouldn't even have drafted because that really pissed Aaron Rodgers off, but they decided to do that. So now you're stuck with him. You got him. So it's good to just let him have his time to start doing what he needs to do. I really like Christian Watson. However, like you said, we just don't know like what that's going to look like with him and Jordan Love together, right? I think last year, I think he caught 3 out of 4 passes from Jordan Love. One of them he did take to the house, though. I think one of them was like a 60-yard touchdown because he's really fast and really explosive. But it's just a small sample size. So, it's kind of like a mystery. We really don't know what we're going to get from the Packers. I mean, they're a lot different than what we're accustomed to. So it should be interesting. Yeah, it should be interesting. They still have the running backs there. But like you said, they're just a young team. And I don't really know what to expect.
Now, just as an FYI, I don't think there's anything wrong with a young team or having a young team, but I feel that there should still be some kind of veteran influence when it comes to each and every one of the positions. Like if the wideouts of all of them are year 1 and year 2, it could be bananas. Like the fact that Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, who we all liked last year actually. If those are the seniors and they're in their only second years, like it could still, they still kind of have a lot to learn, just in general. Manny, what question do you have?
Okay. So the question that I have, and this is kind of me looking at the numbers, looking at fantasy, pros.com. And this is going to seem like I'm hating on Justin Fields, but I'm not because it's his draft position. It's his ADP is too high, in my opinion. Well, let me hear what you guys think. Jordan Love, like I said, QB 21. Strength of schedule is the best in the NFL. The offensive line's not horrible like the Bears. The Bears' offensive line is horrible. At least the Packers' offensive line is decent. You have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon in the backfield that kind of can like pound it in, and then you have Jordan Love that actually can run as well. So they could potentially put Jordan Love, AJ Dillon, and Aaron Jones in the backfield and run like some crazy like plays out of this. I honestly think for the ADP, you could either draft Justin Fields in the 4th, or you could get Jordan Love like around in the 11th, 12th round. Who are you guys picking?
Between those two?
Yep.
I'm taking Fields personally.
In the 4th?
Over Love, yeah. I'm not a believer in Love like that. Yeah, I'm taking
I guess when you think about it though, you could stack up heavy on wide receiver, running back in the 4th, hold off for your QB, pick up Love, and you have stack wide receivers. You have stack running back. You're stacked pretty much, and then you have Jordan Love.
I guess my
That's kind of like the strategy of kind of like going all, specialty players and like not really strong at quarterback. That's just not my strategy. That's not my strategy. I haven't won leagues like that. I'm not saying you can't win a league like that. I just haven't. So for me personally, wouldn't take either guy probably, but I would feel more comfortable with Fields because I know that he can put up 30 points a game if he gets the rushing opportunities. Sounds funny to say as a quarterback, right? But the rushing opportunities.
Right.
Love, I just don't know what Love can do yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think the answer would have to be Fields just based on the question marks of Jordan Love. Like we said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Jordan Love and his potential. He has the chops, but we haven't seen it consistently enough when he has started. But kind of somewhat off topic, but similar in the situation. I would rather draft AJ Dillon in his value versus Aaron Jones in his value.
I did that last year and it screwed me. I'm just gonna it screwed me in every league. He's the reason why I didn't win my fantasy football.
So you have a bias on AJ Dillon.
Yep.
But so the situation is kind of somewhat similar to last year, where Aaron Jones is probably not going to be used as much if they're going to be falling from behind. So it would be more AJ Dillon that'll be playing in. I wouldn't mind, like I said, I wouldn't mind doing, because AJ Dillon, he's nice. I mean, you see him right here in my background right now. He has some moves, and he's an okay pass catcher. But of course they're going to be more 50. They're going to be split 50-50. So that's going to be based on how you feel or what you think as far as those running backs. But overall, as far as everybody else, like I would probably take a stab at Christian Watson. Jordan Love, no. Christian Watson in the maybe pile.
Okay. I'm opposite than you. I both of you guys. I think I would take the risk and get Jordan Love at his ADP rather than Justin Fields, just because of the offensive line and the coaching staff. They had Aaron Rodgers. They know winning at there. And like you said, they got young wide receivers that are fast. Right. And they have the running back core. So I think I would take the risk. I mean, it's worth the risk, I think. Like, even if you pick up a QB1 and then at that late take Jordan Love because of the rushing ability and you don't know what he has, but you could have him in your bench just in case. Because that dude, I think he's going to be the next Justin Fields of last year. How Justin Fields was like a bust or big game, you have that with Jordan Love.
So you feel that Jordan Love is going to eventually have like one of those big games?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, they play the Bears and the Lions and the Vikings. So
well, it's going to be a fun one. It'll be interesting to see if he can be consistent once he gets his groove in.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Manny's home team.
Oh yeah,
Detroit what? Detroit.
The Kittens.
Detroit Lions. And
yeah,
really? Find the whole crew would do it there. So Detroit. I mean, I remember last year I had a lot of high hopes for them. I even remember saying that the coach could be the coach of the year when they turn around, but they did not do that bad. Actually, they had a really good streak and they were this close to getting into the playoffs. But in this case, in this situation, there are a couple of key running backs that that have left, and there's a brand spanking new one that everyone has a lot of their eyes on when it comes to the second round or third round of the of fantasy drafts. So we're gonna learn more about that. Manny, what do we got?
All right. We got the Detroit Kittens. 2022 record 9-8. Key additions, like you said. You got Mr. Gibbs, their first round pick. You have Sam Laporta as well, the tight end.
Right.
You have departures, DeAndre Swift, which he went to the Eagles, which I think the Eagles got a steal. Quarterback, Jared Goff. He's number 99 overall, QB 14. They picked up David Montgomery at 75. He's RB 27. You also have Gibbs, 37 at RB 15. So you have 2 RBs in the top 30 in the Lions system. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 18 overall, wide receiver 9. You have Marvin Jones Jr., which he's far down there, so I didn't get the ranking.
Really?
Yeah, you also have Jameson Williams at 113, wide receiver 46. He got suspended for 6 games, I believe, for gambling. And then you have their tight end is Sam Laporta, and he's tight end 23.
Now, my immediate thought was, as far as Detroit was, I remember when they drafted Gibbs, and I was thinking right away, is like, why did they still had Jamal Williams, they still had DeAndre Swift at the time. I don't think that they signed David Montgomery. They might have.
Well, they didn't have Jamal Williams. They had David Montgomery. And
okay. So with all of them there, like I was trying to think, like, why does Gibbs even matter? But with the moves that they recently with the moves that they made a couple days after the draft, I can be persuaded as far as considering picking up Gibbs as a running back 2 for me. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have, I don't 100% know what to think about Amon-Ra. Like, I don't want it to be a thing where, like, he was a one-time thing where late in his rookie year, I remember Manny was beating that drum for St. Brown, that he did play pretty good. And then last year he played pretty well. He was a 6th or 7th rounder, and he was the perfect fit for it. Now that he's going to be in the top, like I think he said top 20, pretty much 20 overall. I'm not 18. I'm not 18. Yeah, so he's 18. So I'm not sure if I can 100% pay for that, but it's going to be also based upon who else is around that area as far as picks. And once Jameson gets back in, I do want to see how they mesh overall as far as the wide receiver core, because Jameson Williams he's okay. We all saw him play in college. We all saw him play like the 2 games in Detroit once he got back from injury, and he was okay. So once more passes are thrown to him, I'm curious to see how he does in general. Mike, thoughts?
I like Detroit. I think Goff's draftable. I think Jared Goff can come in and be serviceable as a quarterback and get him later in the draft. And I actually like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. I'm actually mad because I wanted the Cowboys to get Jahmyr Gibbs. That was kind of the player I had targeted and was hoping that he would fall to us. But this year, running backs went kind of early. So I think those 2 players will be just fine. Yeah, I mean, they're in a division where they should be able to stack up some wins, and they should have a decent team. So, yeah, I like Detroit. I think they're decent.
So, Manny, with you being on mute, you had a question. What do we got?
I do have a question, but first, Mike, before I start, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, do you consider them the same style running back, though?
I don't, only because Jahmyr Gibbs is better catching out of the backfield. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of like an Austin Eckler kind of running back. Now he's not going to really. I think Montgomery will be your guy on like short yardage, goal line situations. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to tear it up out of the backfield catching passes.
Okay.
But in a PPR league, he's definitely the guy you're going to want to get.
Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery? Would you, at their current value, who would you draft?
Gibbs is pretty early right now, right? Isn't he like 12th overall or something like that? Or
37.
37. Okay. I'll probably look at something else. At their current value, I'd probably still go with Gibbs.
So
I've seen enough of Montgomery. I know what he's going to do.
Right. Here's your 3 up, 3 down from Jahmyr Gibbs. You have Mark Andrews, DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, and then under him is Lamar Jackson, Amari Cooper, TJ Hawkinson.
Okay, that's not fair because it's going to be based upon how you're drafting already. Like if like those are really good players that could be used down the stretch. So for Jamar to be there, that's quite impressive. So people have high expectations for him, apparently. But it will be based on your draft. Like if I drafted running back early, if I drafted running back early, second round wide receiver, because I feel like I'm just going to do a wide receiver second round automatically. Third it would depend on what everybody else does. I can move to a Mark Andrews. I like Mark Andrews this year. I could do I think you said Amari Cooper. I like Amari Cooper this year. It all depends on where I'm drafting. Then I would consider maybe Gibbs.
Okay.
Let me piggyback off that. I totally agree. It just depends, like what Will said, exactly on how you're forming your team. All those guys are awesome. I would probably go with Gibbs over Amari Cooper. It depends on what you decided to do in your other draft pick. Like if you went wide receiver first, then you're probably going to want to go with Gibbs at that point. But if you went running back first, you might want to go wide receiver. Unless you're crazy like me, I stack running backs. Sometimes I'll pick 3 running backs just off rip. Hey. That's just how I play. That's just how I play. But yeah, that question, it's not an unfair question. It's fair, but it's like Will said, it just depends on how the draft falls, because drafts are weird. In some leagues, they're completely different than other leagues, Right. So, yeah.
You're pretty much at a 3rd, 4th round for Gibbs, I would say, in most leagues.
And 4th round, I'm taking him. 4th round, I'm taking him.
Yeah, that's kind of steep for a rookie running back, but that position translates better than any other position coming over from college to the pros. So, yeah, 4th round, I'm taking him too.
Okay. I just get nervous with David Montgomery being the backup because he is a decent running back.
Yeah, Montgomery's fine. Yeah, exactly. He's fine. He's not gonna overpower or do super stats, but he's fine. He'll get you by.
Oh yeah. So my real question though was Amon-Ra St. Brown, and like Will said, I was high on him in his rookie year. Is 18 overall. Jameis Williams at 113, so around the 10th round, 10th, 11th round, and he is suspended for 6 games, so you're not going to get him for half the season. My thing is, Amon-Ra is going to be great for the first half of the season. I think his total is going to drop when Jameson Williams comes back. So how do you guys feel about this? Because I love to trade. I'm thinking about getting Amon-Ra and potentially using him as trade bait before Jameson Williams comes back.
That's smart. That's forward thinking. A lot of managers don't do that, so that's smart.
Exactly, and I'll agree with that, but I want to also ask a different question to you, Manny, as well. Do you feel that the target production or target distribution, do you feel that that's going to diminish that much to the point where St. Brown is going to be like not exactly non-existent, but like just a huge steep fall?
No, I don't think it's going to be a steep fall, but for wide receiver, where you're drafting them, I always look at where you're drafting the players. You're drafting him in the 2nd round. And then the people that are around him are, I'll go 3 up, 3 down again. You could either draft Nick Chubb, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and then it's Amon-Ra. Then Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Garrett Wilson. I honestly would rather have Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra in the first place. So if it comes down to it and both of them are available, I'm picking Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra.
Fair.
Because Garrett Wilson has Aaron Rodgers. So.
And the Packers don't. No, that's 100% fair. It'll just be a case of like, would you do it the moment that Williams gets back, or would you do it like a week or two before?
Week or two before, because then a lot of fantasy managers try to be tricky and say, no, I don't want Jameson Williams coming back. But if you do it a week or two before, you could get the best value.
I'd probably even say week 3. Honestly, if St. Brown is doing decent, And then from there, you see someone that is desperate for whiteout help. That might not be a bad idea as far as throwing in St. Brown. And then from there, you could probably get like I'm gonna go back and say Mark Andrews. If you feel that your tight end doesn't have, if you feel that your tight end doesn't or needs help, you can get an Amari Cooper if you feel that he's going to be consistent throughout the year.
You could do better. You could do better. I like packaging. Like so.
Okay, but the catch to that is if you could do better, let's say if Garrett Wilson does just as good, if not better than St. Brown, people are not going to trade him, or people are not going to trade for Garrett Wilson. Now, no. if you did like a running back or a wideout that is going to eventually be good, but in the beginning starts off kind of like mediocre. That's who I would go for.
I love trading and I'm good at it. I would say I'm good at it. I would go for players like that are going to slump in the first couple of weeks. Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, or even say Barkley comes out and does horrible. These guys are a round ahead, and then I'll say Amon-Ra that's actually been producing and throw in like a 10th rounder with it. And most of the time I get him.
Interesting. If that scenario happens, I want to see the results. We'll put it on here and then we'll see how it all goes.
See, the problem is I'm not drafting Amon-Ra St. Brown after I looked at all those players around him, because I'm going to pick all these players before Amon-Ra.
Of course you're not. Okay. So if any of our listeners gets Amon-Ra St. Brown and they end up doing a trade similar to this, please let us know, and then from there, we'll put it on the show, and then we'll see how everything goes in the end. Mm-hmm. So the finale, the last team, which was first last year, is the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings. This has always been a consistent offensive team, whether it be either too high or just average. Regardless, they're consistent with it. This year they ended up no longer having one of their big time running backs, but they have a pretty decent backup in them that I know we're going to be discussing today. So, Manny, with your weird face, I don't know why you did that face. Give me a little bit of information about this team.
You must not heard what you said, but I'm not.
No, I heard what I said. There was a
pause moment. It was a pause moment.
No, I caught it, but I was not going to go back. There was no way for me to. There was no way for me to just go back and just say, "Oh, I know what I said." Anyway, just give me the information, man.
All right. Well, it's so good for Vikings. 2022 record 13-4. Key additions. You have Jordan Addison, the wide receiver that they drafted in the first round, I think 21st or 24th or somewhere around there, from USC, was with Pitt with Kenny Pickett. Fun fact. Key departures, Adam Thielen and Delvin Cook. I honestly think that Jordan Addison is an upgrade from Adam Thielen. Quarterback, you have Kirk Cousins, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Don't play on primetime, or you're going to get a goose egg, is number 86 overall, QB 12. His strength of schedule is 10th best in the league. Running back, they haven't replaced Delvin Cook, so that means next man up, Alexander Madison, he's number 79 overall. Running back 29, and that's going to be my question. Wide receiver, you have Justin Jefferson, number 1 overall, and of course, wide receiver 1. And Jordan Addison at number 91 overall, wide receiver 39. They also have TJ Hawkinson, which is better tight end. They got a midseason than what they had at number 40, tight end 3. My initial thoughts of this is I think people think that they got worse. I think they got better. And that's my hot take.
Okay. I don't really see them getting worse when it comes to that. They have good talent. Justin Jefferson, number 1, as he very well earned from last year. Jordan Addison, he's not going to say a steal just yet, but I think a lot of people are going to start looking his way. So his draft capital may rise a little bit to the point where I might not draft him in a certain area, but I do like him. TJ Hawkinson is still the mystery to me as far as why he's the number 3. So in that case, who's number 2? Mark Andrews, correct?
Mark Andrews.
Okay. So TJ Hawkinson, if they're saying is 3, so that'll be over George Kittle. That'll be over Dallas Goedert. That'll be over. There's one more. There's one more I can't think of on top of my head.
Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller.
Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller. We'll talk about Kyle Pitts. I have some thoughts about him, but overall, like, this is just a pretty mediocre. It's not mediocre. It's a consistently average team, and you wouldn't have any issues if you picked any of these players. You wouldn't have a problem with Kirk Cousins. Wouldn't have a problem with Jefferson. Not an issue with Addison, Hawkinson, any of them. Mike
Cousins, you would if he's on prime time, go get a backup and play the backup. But any other time, if you don't see him on TV, or if you see him on the Mr. Sunday show, your best friend will, then you're okay to play him. If he's on national TV, do not play Kirk Cousins.
I agree. He doesn't do well in primetime games for sure. That's always been my knock on Kirk Cousins. I wish I had like 14 or 15 chains. I meant to have like a prop for this part, but it's okay. I wanted to look like Kurt, Have you guys been watching that? This is kind of off subject. Have you guys been watching that quarterback show on Netflix? Peyton Manning?
I have not, but I heard it's like 50-50. Like, it's not great, but it's not good.
It's pretty cool. I like it, but I was going to say Kirk Cousins is actually like highlighted on that. So I've been watching a lot of Kurt the last couple of days, and no, I love their players fantasy wise. I like. I mean, what can you say about Justin Jefferson that hasn't already been said? I mean, I'm more of a Chase guy, but I'm starting to run out of that argument. Like, it's starting to become stupid. I mean, really dumb, because he's just elite, man. He goes off. He's going to be solid. We know that.
Yes.
Hawkinson, solid. Madison, solid. The backup running back, you said his name was Ty. Is it Ty Chancellor or
Ty Chandler?
Ty Chandler. He runs a 4-3. I think he'll be able to come in there and kind of spell Madison from time to time, kind of like a lightning and thunder kind of a deal.
Right.
And then on top of all that, you do have Addison, who I like a lot. Being out here next to USC, I live right in the area, kind of. So yeah, I like the teams. I like the team. I like the players they have from a fantasy perspective. Now, regular football, they got to show me something. I mean, we put 40 on those boys last year, but I do like their team from a fantasy perspective. All those guys can definitely help you win the league.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy show, ladies and gentlemen, but we still keep it real.
I always got to throw in a little bit of the real.
We have to strongly emphasize that with every take that we do.
Yeah.
Manny, what's your question?
So I have a quick question and then a longer one.
Go ahead.
You're number 1 overall. Are you taking Justin Jefferson, or are you taking Christian McCaffrey for both of you guys?
You know who I'm taking.
I know who you're taking. And this is more for Will.
Of course, it's more for me. No, I mean,
Will.
I mean, I'm just saying. Last year I was all over Christian McCaffrey, and if Christian McCaffrey wasn't there, I picked Justin Jefferson. In the number 2 or 3 pick.
You're number 1.
But like, it just sucks because both of them would be a good pick. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna go.
Will's that guy.
Just say it. Just say it.
No. I'm legitimately thinking about this. Like, isn't it good that I'm actually thinking about this instead of just going straight at it? You know what? Jefferson.
Yeah, come to the dark side, bro.
It's close.
It is what it is.
It's really, really close.
Okay.
So, but like, I do like Jefferson, but the only thing I'm scared of with him this year is people knowing how good he is, and with that, like, there could be the double teams. There could be a lot more pressure on these wideouts. The running back position doesn't have it as much. If you're a Nick Chubb-esque player, then they're gonna box you. But like with a CMC type of player, like, it's no telling what they're actually going to do with them. So that's kind of why I was a little bit iffy. But I'll still do Justin Jefferson.
I'm just going to tell you right now, if you did Justin Jefferson, the next time you draft, if it's a 12-man league, you're looking at your guy Stevenson or Najee Harris or Breece Hall. So just to give you an idea, and this is standard league. So
that's late second, early third.
Yep. So,
I could do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think you're gonna probably say what I was gonna say, but we're just talking about those two players.
Oh yeah.
So you could draft somebody outside of that, I mean, let's say you didn't want to go Christian McCaffrey, and maybe you wanted a running back, so maybe you wanted to go Eckler. I mean, he probably wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? But you could.
I get it. If you do it, I get it.
Yeah, you could do that. Or also, but I know what you're saying, though, man. You're going by the way draft should go down.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes people do crazy things, and somebody might slip to you. So
Yep.
you might still be in a position where you shouldn't be able to get a decent player, but maybe you can.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess my second question, that was like a quick, like, because he's number 1 overall, so I kind of had to throw it in there. Alexander Madison, every time he comes in for Delvin Cook, dude just stud. RB1, right? He is ranked RB 29th. So number 79 overall. You're looking at him in the 7th or 6th round. I'm taking him 100%. I'm targeting him during that 6th to 7th round. I don't know about you guys, but this is the only, like, because I look at value in ADP. Out of the 4 teams, besides Jordan Love, the Vikings' values on players are way better than, like, the Lions. I feel like the Lions and Bears are too high for ADP, but the Vikings, all their players seem like steals, except TJ Hawkinson, I would say.
Right.
But everyone else seems like a steal. Kirk Cousins, yes, he's Mr. Reliable at QB 12. Alexander Madison, RB 29. Justin Jefferson, that's only if you're the first overall. But even Jordan Addison at wide receiver 39. I watch college football a lot. The dude's a stud. And it's another steal that the Vikings got. They got Justin Jefferson around that same time frame of draft pick. So just be on the lookout. So I guess that's my question. ADP for Alexander Madison, 6th or 7th round. Is it like a lock to go get him? I feel like it is.
You want to answer that, Mike, first?
Yeah, I say go get him. Go get him. I mean, I feel like something must be. It makes me wonder though, like, why is he that low? I mean, but I would say at that point in the draft, you're probably not getting anybody else with that kind of upside. So yeah, go get him.
Okay, so here's my question about it. When Dalvin did go down, and Madison took his place and things like that, like, there was a great chance that a lot of people didn't, like, automatically draft him, even though he's one of the best, even though he was one of the better backup running backs. But is the reason why that we're so high on Madison was because of the value that we got him in last year, or the years before? Like, there's nothing now to emphasize. There was nothing wrong with Alex and Madison. He's good. He's solid. We know he could play. But do you have the hype or belief that he can consistently have that good return in his volume when he plays this year? Now that he has the actual job now.
I think so. I mean, he was a RB1 when he's in. He's top 12 when he's in. When Delvin Cook's hurt and he's the starting back, he's always like in that top 12 echelon.
So to answer your question, I understand at 29, yes, he's a lock with what he's done in the past, but I do also understand why people could be skeptical with him. So like 20 running back 29, that's like what was that, 5th, 6th round?
79.
Probably later. So like,
yeah.
So like what also is probably going to end up happening, like, he's 29 right now. He could be top 20, top 15.
Yeah.
When more people draft. So his cost is going to be that much richer. So you have to see if whether or not wherever he goes, is he still going to be that valuable? But as of right now, this very second, number 29 running back overall, yes, by all means, get him. So that's your answer.
He could be your third wide, like if Mike said, if he goes and gets 2 wide or running backs, say he's like on that 11th, 12th pick and gets 2 running backs 1st and 2nd round, and then gets like 3 wide receivers, and then gets Alexander Madison as his flex. Whew,
Money.
Game over.
It's solid.
Yeah.
As long as he's still back there.
No. I mean, yeah, we're recording, like, if you're watching, like, back in, like, right when your draft happens in a month. We are July 16th. It's 9:48 p.m. Eastern time. So that's when we're recording.
I hope others realize that too. But then again, if they're listening if they're junkies like us listening to fantasy football advice in mid-July, then they're good for them. They understand it as well.
Yep.
So it's about that. So it's about that time. We're about to wrap up the show, but first we got to do our predictions for this division. So who do we have for? Actually, let's just go with the rankings. What do you, laughing boy? What do you got, Manny?
Did you not see what Mike did?
I did not.
Oh, see, that's why you're not laughing.
Throwing cards.
Yeah,
My
he's
new
been-
thing.
Something. I thought I saw something.
All right, so last place is the Bears, of course.
Wow.
I have, and it's going to be the same order. No. I take that back. Bears. I think the Lions are too hyped. I think Lions, Packers, Vikings. Vikings winning it.
Say that again. Lions, or excuse me.
I'm going to order. So the winners are Vikings.
Mhm.
I think the Packers are going to take second, third Lions, fourth Bears.
Okay.
Just coaching
that.
staff. I don't believe in the Lions. I've seen Lions. I have to watch every single Lions game here. It's on the cable.
Isn't that exciting?
No, you know how sad it is to sit here with Lions fans thinking that they're going to be the next best thing. And guess what happens? They suck. They always suck. I'm not going to have them high until they prove me wrong. So they suck.
Who's your MVP of this division?
Oh boy. MVP, Justin Jefferson. In fantasy, in real life, they're probably going to throw like, never mind. It's going to be Justin Jefferson.
Facts. I'll go next. I got. I don't believe in the young core of the Packers, so I'm going to say Packers last, then the Bears, then the Lions, and then Minnesota.
Okay. I like that.
MVP. It can't be nobody else but Justin Jefferson.
Could be Aaron Jones.
What was that?
Could be Aaron Jones. He could be a second.
Could be Justin Fields.
Oh God.
All right, my turn.
I'm
so-
I'm clipping that, by the way. If Justin Fields goes nuts.
Yeah, please do. I mean, I said it sarcastically, but if he goes nuts, we got to come back to this. All right. Well, this one's kind of cool because it's a little different from everybody. I mean, similar, but no one went crazy like, Bears first place or something like that. But everyone's is a little different. Mine, I have the Vikings. I have them at about 11-6, winning the division.
Okay.
I have the Lions at 10-7. They'll be in second. I have the Packers at 8-9, and then in last place, the Chicago Bears at 7-10. So that's how it breaks down to me.
We're all like just one game of like team apart. I didn't want to keep it the same as last year's standing, so I just threw. But I honestly do think the Packers, with their coaching staff, I don't know. This division sucks.
I mean, for you, like I talked about last year in liking Dan Campbell, I do like Detroit's coaching staff.
They suck too.
So I feel I'm just not. I'm just.
Manny's not having it.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not sure if they'll be able to recreate what they did last year because again, they started off terrible and then they had this really nice streak just before they lost and got out of playoff contention. But I think they're going to be a little hyped about that as far as with the events that they did last year, and all the other teams I can't be confident in them. I can't be confident in the Packers just yet. Same thing with Justin Fields and the Bears. Once again, we're all talking real life in this time. What you pulling out, Manny?
Hold on. Show it.
Show it? Okay.
Yep.
All right. YouTube exclusive.
That's a loss week 1 against the Chiefs. That's a loss week 2 against the Seahawks. They'll beat the Falcons. They both suck. They'll win against the Panthers. They'll beat the Bucks. That's a loss to the Ravens. They'll beat the Raiders. They'll lose to the Chargers. I don't know how. I mean, they're home, so they'll win. That's another like 50-50 game. They're losing to the Saints. They're going to lose 50-50 game. I think they're losing to the Broncos, losing to the Vikings. They're definitely losing December 30th against the Cowboys, and they'll lose to the Vikings again. So did you add that up?
Of course not.
That means third place.
Yeah.
It all adds up in third place.
It could happen. That's the crazy thing about this division. You know, like I
mean,
think we all know the Minnesota is the team to beat, right?
Minnesota's going to take it.
So after that, anything could kind of happen. I mean, we'll see.
Thank you for that, Manny. That was fun, actually.
We're
gonna wrap this up. People got things to do, but before we do that, we got to know who the hell are we going to talk about next week. So, I think I've been doing this. I'm gonna do this a little bit more better this time, since I actually know how to do it this time. So, present share screen. See there it is right now. See that was easy. All right, so
please,
as you can see, NFC East, NFC and AFC South, AFC North and NFC West. So here
no south,
go.
No south. No
Big
whammies.
bucks, no whammies.
No south. Son of a.
You jinxed it!
Yeah, you made that happen, man.
Damn it, Manny, you jinxed it.
Let's get these two divisions out of the way. Let's get them out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way. Damn it, Manny. So next time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about that AFC South.
The Titans.
What was that? The Titans. We are the Titans. Well, I mean, we could have talked about DeAndre Hopkins this next episode. So we're talking about the Titans. We're talking about the Colts.
Oh,
are we talking about the Colts? Yeah. We're talking about the Jaguars. We're talking about the
Saints.
Texans. Houston, Texans.
The Texans. Oh my God. Okay. So if you think this was bad, wait.
Davis Mills. Will's a big Davis Mills guy.
No, it's about CJ Stroud now.
Yeah,
it's a new day.
He's a new day. Davis Mills. He cried when they drafted CJ Stroud. He loved Lockman.
Do I have to bring up what you said, Manny?
You like David Wills. You're the
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'll actually clip it. Anyway.
No. Will is the reason why I like Davis Mills.
So next week,
Will always talk about Davis Mills. And
I did.
You know how much money he spent on his cards?
None. Actually, I did I showed you the auto. I showed you the auto rookie.
See?
The mosaic auto rookie. I got that from a break. That was $30. Flipped it for 110. I'm fine with that.
Will's a Bay Area guy, though. He likes all those Stanford Cal guys. So, you know.
No, he's not a homer.
He likes the Bay Area.
Says the Michigan State guy. Okay.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. You like the Wolverines. My bad. I'm sorry.
All right.
No.
That's
next week.
Words.
Shots have been fired.
I won't be on next week.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Next Up Fantasy Show. This was a fun one again. Next week, if you think this one was bad, once again, wait until next week. We get to talk about all those fun teams. So for the crew, Will, for Mike.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, I'm just glad to spend some time with you guys instead of being outside in this 102-degree weather I got going on out here. It's hot as hell. It's crazy right now. So it's good using up some good AC.
113 over here. For Manny.
Yeah.
If you're an AFC South, if you like their teams and you want to replace me for next week, spots open. No, I'm joking. I'm excited. I'm excited to get these bad divisions out of the way. So then the real divisions start, like the NFC East. So
who are we going to talk about with MVP for this division next week?
I might wear a bag over my head the entire episode, like how they used to do when the team's really bad. They just wear like a bag over there, cut the eyes out. I might just come in like that next week because
as long as you're using your AirPods, and that might be totally fine. You might be able to get away with it.
True.
I'll give you time to breathe. So once again, this is the Next Up Fantasy Show. Have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you guys are watching, whenever you guys are listening. We're done. See you guys next week.